4:30 Thursday morning. Thursday already. Where did this week go? This week has gone so fast. So, choose to have a good day. If you wake up every morning and you're like, I'm tired, and that's how you start your day, that's the first thought in your head, you're probably going to be tired. If you're walking out your door and you're telling yourself you're tired, you're definitely reinforcing that feeling. You're probably going to remain tired. I'm going to go right over here and see what this sure is. A giant frog. Holy cow. So, right, back to what I was saying. If you wake up and you're like, I'm going to have a bad day, today's a bad morning, and that's how you start, and that's the first thing in your head, well, you're probably reinforcing that thought, and that's the course that you're on, right? If instead you say, I get up, if instead you identify the thing you are excited for today, if instead you identify the things you are going to do and realize that now because you did get up, you have more time to do them, or in fact you just go and do them right away, those couple things that you don't want to do, you will have, you'll be relieved. They're done. A lot of times those things you don't want to do are just super easy and kind of silly. Just do them, right? It builds momentum when you get them done. And now you have time to do the things, whatever that is. So, Self-Reliance Festival, I have about 4 months, right? Maybe a little less than 4 months. I think it's 4 months. October 1st and 2nd. And what that means is I have 4 months to have something. I need to have a big difference here, right? And how do I do that? Do I wait and do it all in a week and not do anything else for a week? That's not how I do it. What I'm going to do is my last employee leaves at about 6:30, so I'm able to close the gates, which means I can get in here, not worry about people coming in and out, not worried about being somewhere else on the property, coming in and people out here in the parking lot stealing wood or whatever. So from 6:30 to 9 o'clock when I do my live feed, that gives me 2.5 hours every day for 4 months to get something done that looks different. Start tasks, start projects, finish a little bit of bigger projects every day, so that when I have a bunch more people here, there is progress and there is evidence of whatever it is that I'm going to talk about and show them. I need this place to look different, to look improved, to look changed, and I'm going to do that 2.5 hours a day. I'm still going to work. I'm still going to do all the other things that I need to do, but that's what I'm going to do 2.5 hours a day. And that's 2.5 hours a day out of one of my 6-hour days. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, operate as though you have 4 6-hour days. It could even be 8. Let's just make it easier. Most people are at work 8 hours. They sleep for 8 hours, and that leaves them another 8 hours. The question is, if you don't have exactly what you want and your life doesn't look like exactly what you want it to look like, what are you doing with your other 8 hours? And that's being very generous, giving you 8 hours to sleep. It literally, it's not physical, it is mental, and it is in your head. So, what are you going to do with that 8 hours? And where can you find 2.5 hours to work on a project or a task or a group of projects to make something look vastly different in your life every quarter? And that could just be, I'm going to build a huge garden out here. You're not going to do that all in one day. Maybe you are. But if you do it 2 hours, 2.5 hours a day, it's just like building your body. It's just like working out. Here's just chilling here in this basket of this 4-wheeler. Hi. Pets? Hi. There's another one over here. What Jordan says, always pet a cat when you have the opportunity. So, it's just like your body. I have 4 months to change this, right? What do I want to do with this? Do I want my arms more defined? Do I want my gut a little smaller? Do I want to tighten my face up? What do I want to do? And how do I want to look different? In 4 months, the 500 people that were just here, do I want them to think, man, John's really doing this workout shit that he talks about every morning. He looks younger. Or do I want to drink fucking 2-3 drinks a night and have fucking pie and cake and have them go, maybe John's full of shit about all that workout shit he talks about. He's looking kind of puffy and he's looking older, right? Do I want people to look at me? What do I want the cover of my book? What do I want the photos that I'm going to take with people to look like? I'm building that brand, right? My brand, me personally, my personal brand, what I see in the mirror, what other people see, and if I'm going to inspire or I'm going to give information. So often you see people taking information and traveling long distances to meet people, and you look at them and they're kind of just a disarray. Their clothes are always fucked up, they're wearing dirty shit, their hair's not kept right, their breath stinks. What do you want your brand to look like? You have to first identify that, and it can alter and change a little along the way. But what is that going to be? And that then you have something to operate along, right? You have some guidelines, some framework. And mine is, I'm going to be in better shape. I'm going to have evidence of progress. Everything we do here produces something, whether it be firewood or fruit or something to feed animals that we will then consume. And that's the effort, right? I've said I've spent the last 2 years developing this piece of property, developing my relationships so that I don't have to do SOE. I'm not planning not to do SOE, but that's my ultimate, to be able to set things in life. It's just like if you have invested your money and you have multiple revenue streams coming in that you don't have to mess with, right? You've set the framework, then you don't have to work. Do you want to work? Why are you working? Are you working because you love doing what you're doing, or are you working for the money? If somebody came to you and goes, hey, I'm going to give you $10,000 every week for the rest of your life, would you continue to do the things you do right now? Think about that. Why are you doing the things you do? Are you doing them for the money, or are you doing them because you like them? I love building gear. I love SOE. Frustration is employees in the middle of the day telling you they're not going to be there for 3 weeks. Frustration is empty sewing machines having tons of orders but not being able to take tons of orders because I don't have employees and I live in the middle of nowhere. We've run through the town. Without moving, I can't scale. We are stagnant. I have always had more work than I have production capacity. So, do I sit and use my 2.5 hours every night making a little bit more gear? Or do I sit using 2.5 hours at night putting in these 27 fruit trees and this extra 500 feet of fence that I want to put in over here, right? Do I wake up in the morning and have to look at my phone and go, man, how many employees aren't going to be here this morning because whatever happened this weekend? Which employee's in jail? Which employee has just decided they're not coming to work, right? Or do I set up my place so that people will come here and pound the door down every single time and only have to deal with people 5, 6, 10, 20 times a year? People who are excited and hungry, people who are not looking for a reason not to come here, but people who, it's a trip that I can have employees that live 20 minutes from here and there's always some reason not to come here, literally have reduced to 30 hours a week. But I've got 500 people, cat fight, 500 people that pay to come here and travel literally from the other side of the United States and will be here 10 times a year, right? I was talking to a dude yesterday. He's like, so what would you do? And we kind of had this conversation last night. he's like, do you think you could turn this into a schoolhouse? I'm like, absolutely we could. We already have turned it into a schoolhouse. So just a thought, right? The thought is not to close the company down. The thought is not to have to rely on people, right? And that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. I'm looking at other things where people are excited to be a part of what we're doing rather than have to bribe them to be a part of what we're doing. And I think working here is pretty good. So you're hearing two things. You're hearing excitement for other projects and frustration with existing things. And I don't know. I'm not a good boss is what that comes down to. I think I'm not a good leader, but only in certain aspects of my life. I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna lift these weights and I'm gonna do this cardio, and I have four months to make me look different, right? I want to fill this shirt out a little more in my chest. I want it to be a little tighter through here. Nobody's going to do that for me. Those are all choices that I make, and it started, well, it always starts, but it starts last night, right? I am going to get up at 4:15. I am going to make this video at 4:30. I am going to work out at 4:45. I am going to see my first person at 6:30. I am going to make sure these gates are open at 7 o'clock, right? It's a checklist. Those are definites. Those are not maybes. Those are not possibilities. Those are, that shit has to happen. And when you go to bed and you're like, maybe I'll get up at 4:30, you're already programming yourself that you don't have to. If you don't hold yourself accountable, nobody will hold yourself accountable. Now, if you've made it to the end of this video, leave me a comment. You fucking owe me that. You owe me that. If you watch my content more than once, twice, 3 times a week, you owe me that. How many people have started business? You want to see who your friends are? Start a business. You'll find out fast who supports you and who doesn't. Because like social media right here, all you have to do is push like and share the video. If you share it to somebody, if you got anything, entertainment, excitement, something funny, a thought, share it, type out a few words and send it to whoever you're going to send it to. But people don't do that. We've destroyed their attention span. And when you